What does Dragonlance, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, the Marvel franchise, and The Walking Dead all have in common? I'll tell you. GameMasters here, and I ran across a little panel in the new Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen book. It's in Chapter 1, page 24, upper right corner, and when I read it, several things kind of started to click. I'll explain. It reads, "People from beyond. Peoples who aren't native to the world still might find their way to Krynn. It's possible to find individual members or even small enclaves of folks like Dragonborn, Halflings, Tieflings, or any other race in Ansalon. Perhaps such individuals stepped through a portal and found themselves on Krynn, or traded with one of Krynn's great empires before the Cataclysm. Use such possibilities to play characters of any race you please in your adventures across Krynn." Then I noticed that one of the new magic items, this specific one found on page 190, the Flying Citadel Helm. Get this, the description reads, "The function of this ornate chair is to propel and maneuver a flying citadel on which it has been installed." It's a big chair. It's got helm in its name. Yeah, that's a Spelljammer helm, no question about it. This means that Krynn has, at least at one point, seen spelljamming technology. And if that's the case, that's just one more method of different races being able to find Ansalon. I've seen the chatter online, the up in arms about how this version of Dragonlance is allowing clerics to exist before they should, that orcs were never a part of Dragonlance. The original creators felt that orcs were too Lord of the Rings, and they used instead Draconians. Using the two mentions about other possible races having a way to get to Krynn, my mind got to wandering. I was also watching the finale of The Walking Dead, which to me wasn't really a finale. There was hardly any closure, but I really don't want to go off on that tangent. And after watching it, I was thinking about how the comic book ended versus how the TV show ended. And then things really started to click. Then I thought about George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones, the book series versus the TV show and how different they were. I had a similar thought about the Harry Potter books versus the movies. Then my thoughts went back to Dragonlance and the hoopla that many diehard fans seem to have and the lack of a chance that they're willing to give this new book. And then it hit me. Let's see if you guys can guess where I'm going with this. Look at the Marvel comics, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk, Avengers, Captain America, all the comics, and now compare them to the movies. The same characters, same settings, but different storyline. Just like Game of Thrones, just like Harry Potter, just like The Walking Dead, just like Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. There is nothing saying that you can't still have your old Dragonlance. Nothing's going to replace it. All this new book is a new take on the story. It provides players a chance to explore the world of Krynn as it once was, or Ansalon as it once was. I've put out a fair amount of content for this book, but I gotta be honest, I've barely scratched the surface. And this tells me something. Actually, it kind of shouts at me. There is so much content in this specific book that is cohesive and fluid. With books in the past, I've had to get fairly creative to come up with ideas for videos. This one, the content is just pours out. I'm reading that as a major sign. And I'll tell you this, I've not even touched the adventure that's in this. I've read it, it's a good story, but I'm referring to the content that I've put out so far. If you've been on the fence about getting this book, my 2 cents worth, it's worth it. The board game, if you're super into board games, you're going to have fun with it, but the book itself is chock full of great material. Hell, I've not even touched the topic of gods that are listed in here, or the races, or the backgrounds, or the feats, or the sidekicks, and I still have more stuff to show you all about the board game as well. Listen, this is not a pitch from me to convince you to buy this book. I'm simply presenting information as I see it. If you choose not to get it, cool. Should you want it, I'll leave a link as to where you can get it down below. It's an affiliate link, makes me a little bit of money and supports this channel. And I'm glad to have this book. I think it's got some great content, but that's like just my opinion, man. If you'd like to see more content about Dragonlance before you make your decision on getting it or not, check out this playlist. We've covered what the Kender were, who Lord Soth is. We've talked about death dragons. We've covered a lot, and I've still got a lot more to cover. So subscribe, just so that you don't miss it. And let me know down in the comments how you see this new Dragonlance book. And until next our paths cross, just have a great day.